Welcome to kgeosportstalk. I want to get into the week one results here. Just looking through everything, and pretty awful week for me this week. One guy, Mike Sims Walker, no catches whatsoever. Supposedly a number one wide receiver for Jacksonville. That's kind of brutal anyway, but Ryan Grant gets injured after picking up 45 yards. He's got an ankle injury. He's going to be out. I would say at least this week. Probably going to be out another 2-3 weeks. On top of that, Adams just monster week, 140 points, and he actually wasn't even the high man this week. We had Morley at 148, almost 149, and Ozzy freaking just blew up at 146. Morley, just to kind of run through some of his stats, two biggest guys of the week, Arian Foster, out of nowhere, 231 rushing yards, 3 TDs, even tossed in a reception there, 48 fantasy points. That's freaking ridiculous. Peyton Manning, 45 fantasy points. So between those two guys, you're talking, nearly 100 points right there. 93 points. Rest of his guys, pretty average numbers. Anquan Bolden had 16, but other than that, pretty weak. Let's see what Angier had this week. Angier starting off with another loss, just like me. Did have a huge day from Matt Forte for Chicago against Detroit, so you can't really say much there. But he had over 150 yards receiving, a running back with 7 receptions and over 150 yards receiving. That's very, very impressive. I don't think I've ever seen that out of a running back that I recall. One thing to note, Reelman, got to talk about this. And obviously it's just week one stuff that comes into play, but McFadden, out of nowhere, 24 fantasy points, 95 rushing yards, 6 receptions for 55 yards, and tossed in a touchdown. Huge week for him. That he's gonna have to be a guy you look at over Bernard Berrien, who got less than a point, and Hakeem Nicks for Reelman. Hakeem Nicks, big-time player, 3 touchdowns this week. 3 touchdowns and 75 yards. So, big game out of him. Right now, those are the big guys in the league. You've got Morley, Adams, and Ozzy all busting over 140. So they're obviously going to be, our top 3. And then myself, Reelman, Gordy, Angier was the high man for all the guys that lost, and then Billy and Capron rounding out the bottom 6 there. Just want to touch on Angier's most recent, wasn't a video blog or anything, but definitely wanted to say that as far as our matchup this year, when we do play, definitely going to be something where we do need to play. I would say, I don't know if I would say $50 on it, but let's say, we put down a friendly wager of $20, and then at the end of the year, whoever ends up on top at the end of the year, better in the ranks, the loser will wear a dress to our 10-year reunion. Okay, so I do want to hear a rebuttal on that, but that'll be my offer. $20 for our matchup, whoever wins that, and then the other guy wearing a dress to our 10-year reunion, to the loser of, whoever's going to be lower in the ranks. So get back to me on that. Over and out. Week 1 in the books. Way to go, Kansas City. Hate the Chargers. Way to go, Redskins. Hate the Cowboys.